Alright, you all have spoken. It's time for part 3. As a lot of you guys have seen in the background of some of my latest videos, the HO scale layout has gone through several changes, as over time I've been able to do and add a lot, but have only really shared pictures of it, as I wanted to make sure there was plenty done before I showed it off to you guys. And thankfully I think we finally reached that point, or at least a good point to talk about, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know a model train set is never actually done, so expect to see more and a couple things change, but as of now there's still plenty I want to show you guys and talk about. So without any more delay, let's get into it, starting with the station. Well, passenger station I should say. As I'm sure some of you guys have recognized, this is Bachmann's resin Maithwaite building that I've modified a little bit to fit into the layout. Currently there's only 2 passengers on the platform, but I plan to add more. I'm not really a big fan of just gluing a bunch of stuff to the platform, and though it's a bit hard to tell right now, it is lighted on the inside, which just like the other buildings and lights is done with Woodland Scenic's Just Plugs. Beside it currently sits a switch tower, which unfortunately at the moment isn't lighted, but it does have a lamppost next to it to light up the trains and such that go by. It also wouldn't be right if Maithwaite didn't have a proper flower bed, so using some shrubs and different colored plants, I detailed the right side of it as well, with different yellow, red, and pink flowers. A simple process, but one that I think paid off. Behind the station, currently I'm working on a parking lot of sorts, which currently only holds a take-and-play birdie, but features asphalt and a sidewalk that leads up to the station, so any of his passengers can load onto the coaches. Behind Maithwaite is another resin building made by Bachmann, that being the warehouse, and currently this is lit up with red LEDs, as I like it to have more of an ominous feel to it. Inside of the warehouse is currently a truck with a flatbed, and on that flatbed is Blackout Branchline, who I imagine is either getting worked on or repaired. Now, behind the warehouse is a narrow gauge portion, which admittedly is kind of boring right now. It's kind of just an oval with 2 different platforms, as I'm really not sure what I want to do with this portion yet, but like other parts of the layout, it features a resin building, as well as a lamppost to illuminate the engines as they go by. However, I'll likely end up moving or replacing some of the things in this area. Now, what I'm sure you're most curious about is what's on top of the narrow gauge portion, and literally blocking half of the loop. And that's something that I can't tell you right now. It is a project that I plan to keep you guys updated on though, as this portion of the layout is the portable one, and what you're seeing now works as a separate table. Instead, it just sits above the big one thanks to some pegs that I installed on its bottom, and also kind of doubles as a tunnel for the other engines. Be sure to keep your eyes open though, because I can't wait to show you guys what exactly this is going to be. I just have to finish some work on it. Next up we have the yard area, which also has some new features, as well as detailing, which I'm sure you guys have seen in the background. In the front there's a small lake area with a canoe and the body of an old steam engine, which I say ran into the lake and they left there. As I'm sure you can tell, this still has a long way to go and isn't anywhere near done, but still was something that I thought would be a fun idea, even though admittedly it is a bit morbid. But hey, it looks fun. Behind this is one of Bachmann's resin engine sheds, which I added a lamppost in front of, as well as interior lighting to the shed itself. And behind this is the double engine shed, which, you guessed it, is lighted too, as is the signal box, which also features a lamppost next to it as well. So now that we've talked about everything down here, let's focus on up here for a second, which at first glance may seem like a shelf, and partially is a shelf, but using Bachmann's auto reverse track, I was able to make a small point-to-point track on this shelf that automatically stops and sets the engine off again. For fun and to experiment, I would detail half of the track, since ballasting and such isn't normally my thing, but being Bachmann's easy track, I found it appropriate, and now half of the shelf functions as a nice setup and the other half as an actual shelf. Besides this though, all I've really done is detail some of the track on the main layout, and here and there would add different trackside scenery bits. I'm doing my best to take my time with the main layout and let it come together slowly, but as you can see, plenty has happened and will continue to happen. So even though there's not much to it, hopefully you guys enjoyed taking a look at my HO scale layout, and be sure to keep your eyes open since there's plenty coming after it. The process of starting a model train layout or modeling trains period seems daunting, and trust me, at times it can be, but nothing makes me more happy or proud than coming home and running my engines on a layout that I built myself. And trust me guys, if I can do it, anyone can do it, and I highly recommend that you give it a try if you never have before. It's a better addiction than some others out there, and hopefully this has shown you that it's not too hard or difficult of a process. It just takes time and a pretty solid will. Just don't stress it too much and make sure you have fun, since that's really all that matters. And as always, thank you guys again for watching, and hopefully the build up was somewhat worth it. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe since it lets YouTube and me know that you liked the video, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.